Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to this message. Today we have some new cards that we're going to be using. So we have, as our first card, we have the money safe. Then we have the ship reversed, the rider card, and the rod. So which is very interesting. Now, this money safe, like, literally has something to do with your finances, right? So, as it relates to your income, it could also be your value as a person, your value in terms of economic value, your anything to do with finances and financial matters, right? And it's very interesting because there's something about with this tree here. There's something about divine alignment. So, because the tree of diamonds means to me that there is a divine alignment. So it could be that, as it relates to your finances, that there is a divine alignment happening. So if your finances are not are a little bit stuck, because it could be that related to that, because the next card here is the ship, and when the ship is reversed, it means that you are a little bit stuck, like some kind of journey that you want to go on seems to be canceled in some kind of way, or seems to be stuck. Like, this direction you want to go into seems to be a little bit stuck, or another direction is stuck all of a sudden. There could be a delayed being able to, like, have a lift off. So, yeah, there's something very interesting that's happening here. So I do think that whatever is happening, it is in divine alignment what is happening. So you are, yeah, it's happening in divine alignment that a certain direction would be stuck, because as it relates to your finances are divinely guided, right? Your finances are divinely aligned. So it means that it is connected to a purpose, right? So that your if your finances are delayed, it has a purpose. If and it relates to your purpose as well, your life purpose. If you're all of a sudden seeing a direction just getting stuck somehow, so something just not moving anymore, then this too is in divine alignment. So what God wants to say is that there is a purpose, that it connects to your life purpose, and it also there is a purpose, and it's in divine alignment. So it has to do with your divine blueprint for your life, the divine plan for your life. So it's not just random. Your finances are heavily guided, right? So, which is also very much connected to this card here, because this relates to guidance as well and direction. So there is most definitely something about that. This is heavily divinely guided, right? This is part of the plan. So if your finances raise, or your finances drop, or they stay the same, or when a direction all of a sudden gets stuck, there are delays in some kind of way. It's all part of the divine plan, and more than that, it's a part of your divine purpose. So understand that this is the case, right? Um, and then let's see. And then we have the ship here. So this talks about the stuck, that is maybe a direction that you were going to be going into, or another direction in your life. So one avenue of income, I would say, one direction of income is all of a sudden getting stuck. And maybe another direction is getting delayed, right? So there could be something about stuck finances, delayed finances. It doesn't mean that nothing is moving, because this card is a card of news, the rider of good news, of movement, of clients coming in, of expecting visitors, right? So it is very, very positive. So there is going to be movement, but it is all in divine alignment, and it's all connected to your life purpose, right? So that is very important that you realize this. And here we have the Nine of Hearts. It has to do with you being emotionally independent. So there could be something here about that you are supposed to, um, most definitely, don't be attached to any kind of delay. So don't be emotionally detached to any kind of delay, or don't be emotionally attached to, if a certain direction all of a sudden seems to be stuck in some kind of way, nothing is happening in a certain direction of, like, a certain avenue of income. don't worry about it. So detach yourself emotionally from that situation, and also detach yourself emotionally from any kind of lift off, take off you want to have some kind of direction you want to go into, where there are certain delays that you are seeing, obstacles, difficulties, right? So, if you can only, for example, launch at a later date, see it as in divine alignment. See it as having not just a divine purpose, not just being part of the divine plan for your life, but also being related to your life purpose, right? So, it could be important for other people that this doesn't happen now, right? So, think a little bit bigger. Um, so, what you see, so also, for example, if because I also feel like I need to say that it can also connect to a delayed departure, right? Because that's what this is connected to. So I would see it as a delayed launch, but it could also be a delayed departure, in the sense like maybe you want to go somewhere, because this can also be a cancellation of a travel plan, of a trip, a delayed departure of a trip. Then do know that this is also in divine alignment and in alignment with your divine purpose, and the finances that relate to that. It's all in divine alignment, right? So so that's very important that you realize this. So detach from this whole situation, I would say. And it could also have something to do, if you're like an empath, that you don't want to be picking up on energies, because this may have an effect somehow. So I'm just putting it out there. And so there could be a reason why you need to be distancing yourself um, emotionally from a certain situation, perhaps. So here we have the idea of that news will be coming soon. There will be movement. You can expect visitors, so this could also relate to clients. You can expect clients. So whatever it is, there is going to be a movement. There's going to be news coming in, right? So it could be clients are coming in, so don't worry, but it's all in divine alignment. It could be what God wants to say here. Could also be if there is a delay in travel plans, or if a travel plan is cancelled, right? That there is not just a divine reason for that, and it's related to your purpose, but there is going to be news coming in about that. So you're going to be expecting news, and there's going to be movement in that again, right? But it's all in divine alignment, and it relates to your life purpose. So understand that there's a bigger purpose that doesn't just involve you, it involves others as well, right? So let's see. So, and then we have, and also let's look at this. So this means that there is going to be a change with this Jack of Diamonds. So there's going to be a change in your in the world you see around yourself. There's going to be something that is going to be changing. So, and what is going to change is, of course, that there's going to be news, right? That there's going to be movement, that there are going to be clients, that someone may be visiting you. So that something like that is going to happen. So don't worry about it. But that's in the future, and it is in divine alignment, right? So let's see. This is going to change when it is meant to change, right? And then we have this one here, the rod, and this has to do with guidance. So you are there is, as it relates to your direction, it relates to direction, it relates to guidance as well. So I do think that there is, as since this is the underlying energy, right, that there is, that your direction is divinely guided, that if there is a change in direction, this is also divinely guided. So if there's something like stuck and something else is is happening, there could be guidance in that as well. It is guided. And you will be able to take control of the situation, because it also relates to that. So you will be able to take control of this whole situation. Um, Keep on being disciplined, keep on um, yeah taking control of the situation, taking initiative, being a leader, moving things in a direction. So keep moving, doing things, right? Whatever you can do, just keep doing it, but also understand that there is that there's a lot of divine guidance, a lot of divine alignment happening that is heavily related to your purpose. And quite likely, it's only going to open up, it's only going to happen once it is in accordance to the divine plan, in accordance to the divine purpose for your life, in accordance to divine alignment and to the purpose, and as it relates to other people as well. So it could be that there is no sense of control at all as it relates to your finances, right? So do take that into account. But of course, it is also a card that has something to do with control, right? So maybe you have to release control over the situation, maybe realizing that this is divinely guided, that your direction is divinely guided as well. So if God wants to move you in a different direction, it could be that a direction stops and another direction opens up for you, right? So it's all in divine alignment. So it's very important that you do realize that. But keep being disciplined as you are moving forward. Keep being the leadership figure that you are. So yeah, so that's pretty much what this is talking about. And then let's just see. So also, what this also means, this card here, as our next layer, right? I also see it as an expression of the divine through through your life. So it could be if there is a completion in your life that that God may be expressing the divine plan for your life through a completion of some sort. So if you have a stuck direction, right? It could be that God is actually seeking to express the divine plan for your life through this direction getting stuck, through something getting delayed, right? So do listen to that because it is an expression of the divine in your life that this is happening. Um, and it could be related to a completion in your life. So there's most definitely something about that this is divine alignment. Also, if you feel like going in a different direction, you feel it in the spirit. This is also an expression of the divine through the spirit that this is happening, right? So yeah. So let's see, and then and this relates to your finances quite literally. So there is an expression of the divine through your finances. So if you are noticing certain, like whatever is happening with your finances, see it as an expression of the divine happening through your finances. So for example, if there is another avenue that you are feeling called to go to move towards, and one direction in your life is all of a sudden getting stuck in terms of an income stream, then you can see that as a divine expressing itself, right? Through this stuckness. And also, if you feel like going in another direction through the spirit, right? So through the Holy Spirit that you are feeling, right? So if you're feeling inspired towards something else, towards another avenue of income, and this in and of itself is also an expression of the divine through your spirit. And as it relates to your finances, if you all of a sudden see like, okay, this is quite peculiar. I am making much more money in this direction. Also see that as an expression of the divine as well, right? So yeah, any kind of completions, there is something divine happening here, right? So let's see, and then we have this next one, which has to do with that you are trying to achieve something through effort. You are trying to achieve something through effort, but at the same time, we are seeing a stuck direction. So see that as a divine expression that there is a stuck direction happening, or even a delayment of something not taking off right now, of a delayed launch, a delayed being able to move in a specific direction. And this too is God expressing Himself, right? Through is a divine expressing itself through these delays. Let's see. But it has to do with perhaps that you need to learn something. So it could be that you still need to learn something, some kind, because it relates to learning. So it could be that you either you have to go into higher learning. So it could be that God has some higher learning for you to do. So that could be because you need to study, your ship is a little bit stranded right now. So you could see it like that. It could be that something is delayed because you still need to learn something that is essential for the success of this direction. That could also be the case. It could be some wisdom that you still need to learn before the ship can sail off, right? And it could also just be that you are trying to achieve something through effort alone when it is actually not in divine alignment, when it is actually a direction that is being completed, that's being closed off, and you're being guided into a new direction, right? So that's also something wants to be said. And it has to do with letting go as well, and even like planting seeds. So there's something about that something wants to be you're also going to be learning what needs to be let go of and what kind of seed wants to grow into a tree, you could say. What kind of seed wants to grow in your life, right? So that it's very, very clear, like this wants to be let go. This seed actually wants to grow in my life, right? So it could be, as relates to this, that that there is a seed that was planted in your spirit, and now, and which is a divine expression within the spirit, and that you need to give creation to that, give life to that, right? So let's see. um yeah, that you maybe need to focus on that. And then we have this next one here. So this has to do with there's something about opposing forces. That's very interesting. Opposing forces. So you could say that is an opposing force in a sense, because the rider is good news, movement, clients coming in, visitors, these kinds of things, right? Which is an opposing force to this, right? So it is the exact opposite of what's happening here. Um, so you could even say it as that this would not be good for you, right? Maybe this would be causing challenges. So, in order for you to learn something, in order for you to gain an essential skill, gain like a certain kind of higher learning, or a study that you still need to do, or you need to learn a certain skill, there's something that you still need to learn before you can move forward. There's some kind of wisdom you may need to have, or maybe you need to literally do things, right? That you need to achieve things through effort, quite literally, and like you literally have to get to work, because like you need to get to work now. And if things would be moving right now, or if you would be getting a lot of clients, for example, or if you would be having this good news now, this would not be able to happen. So there is a higher plan here. This would be an opposing force to that what is happening here, right? So you are purposefully stranded. So if your finances are stranded right now, it is purposefully stranded, right? If a direction in your life gets stranded, it is purposefully stranded. And but it is, if, especially if it's a new direction and there is a delayed departure, a delayed launch of some sorts, if there is delayment in your finance and delayment in a launch, then this is because there is something essential that you still need to learn, or that you still need to do, or that you still need to study. So there's a reason for it, right? So let's see. And then let's see. And then this card here has to do with um, a new cycle that is beginning. There could be something may be culminating to a full cycle, and there could be a new cycle that is beginning. And it has to do with something with perhaps um, like spiritual warfare. It could be something like that. It could be something about spiritual warfare, and that there is an ending of something coming full circle. So some kind of spiritual warfare coming full circle. There's a new cycle beginning for you. So there's a completion, a new cycle is beginning. You will be manifesting work. So it means that you will be um, maybe you literally have to get to work right now, but there's also you will be able to, for example, sell a product, sell a service. You will be able to do that. You will be able to move in a certain direction. If you have travel plans, for example, you will be able to do that. But This is not just how do you say that? So if you are like if a journey is stalled, it's because it's not just a journey. It is a completion of something related to spiritual warfare and you creating a new beginning in that. So it's quite significant and it has a lot to do with your life purpose. So it's not to be taken like, oh, this is just a journey, or this is just a travel plan, or this is just a new direction I'm going into, or some kind of new income stream that I'm creating or feeling called towards. No, it is quite big, quite likely, because it's the end of something related to spiritual warfare. So some kind of negative cycle, quite likely, and a new cycle, a new beginning, right? A completion of something. It's a completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. So it's very, very significant, very important, you could say. So yeah, so let's see. Um, so in our next layer, I would like to look at these numbers. So this has to do with a righteous foundation. Um, yeah, so this whatever you are going to be moving into, it will be a righteous foundation. So you're most definitely on the right path, and it will have the right foundation in order to be successful. So maybe you're also now working on the right foundation, and it will be built on a righteous foundation as well. So it's really beautiful. So let's see, and then we have um, it is the beginning of a union of opposites. So it means, as this relates to opposites, that this will be the beginning of this movement happening, the beginning of this good news that is about to come in, these visitors, these clients that are about to come in, right? Work manifesting itself. So it has to do with that this is the beginning of that. So this ship being stranded is in all reality, this delayment, the stuck direction, it's actually the beginning of movement. It is the beginning of this good news, of this movement forward, of the delay actually going away in a sense, right? So let's see. And it is also a little bit like an initiation as well. Um, the beginning, initiation, the first cause of it. So it's really the beginning. It's the beginning of like cause and effect, the initiation into movement, the causation of movement, the causation of this news, these clients, this being able to sell products, for example, right? To have work, it's the initiation of that, the cause of that. So it's like a little bit like because it is the first cause, it is, and the first cause is also very important because it needs to be built on a righteous foundation. So this first cause needs to be built on a righteous foundation, on the right foundation as well, a just foundation, right? A right foundation. So otherwise, you can't really. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the beginning of this new cycle, right? It wouldn't be the beginning of this movement happening, or this good news. So there has something to do with that, and let's just see. And then we have, and it will also be, you will feel that it is in alignment with you. So there will be harmony that comes from you being in divine alignment, and especially in alignment with yourself. There's something really beautiful that is happening there. So it's going to be a righteous foundation, but something that is, uh, yeah, that really aligns with you. So, but in order to create this true foundation that will actually be moving you forward, um, I do think this needs to happen first, right? So let's see. And then we have 14. So this has to do with also like your yeah, it's the beginning of the structure of the foundation that you need. It's also the beginning of solidity in your life. So yeah, whatever this is, this foundation that's being built, it's going to be solid. It's going to be the structure is being created for that. The foundation is being created for that, like the right foundation, but also it's built on the righteous foundation. It is in divine alignment. It will be in alignment with who you are. So it is built on something much, much stronger, you could say. And you are currently being initiated into the structure that this wants to take shape as. And you're currently being initiated into this foundation that needs to be built right now. And in order for it to be very, very solid and to really know movement in the future. And then we have this one, and this has to do with that there first needs to be a little bit of chaos before a creation can happen. You're a little bit in the void right now. Something is in non-existence currently, but there's something that needs to be completed. So it's maybe something will be completed and go into the void, will go into non-existence. So there could be something that is all of a sudden going to be disappearing from your life. So something may come into non-existence, into will be a part of the void all of a sudden. All of a sudden, it's gone. And it's because it needs to be completed and a new beginning needs to take place, right? And you are currently in the primordial chaos before creation can begin. So, yeah, but at the same time, you are being guided, right? You're receiving the direction. Your direction is being guided, so it's there's a lot of guidance available for you. There's a lot of like your direction is being guided. You are being guided. Um, because right now you need to move into a new creation, quite likely into some kind of new direction in your life. And before that can happen, something will go into the void, something will go into non existence and will be completed. And another journey will start, will begin. And this is just the time before this creation starts. And in this time, like the structure needs to be built, the right foundation needs to be built for everything to be solid and to really, really know a start. And you are being initiated into that, right? So this is the beginning of that as well, the first cause of that. Let's see. Um, this has to do with you grounding in life, something becoming permanent, something becoming stable as well. It has to do with something being given life, prosperity. It has to do with that. This one has to do with perhaps you being given divine revelation. So something will quite literally be like an inundation in your life. So there's something about something will be washed away, will be inundated, right? And something will be inundated and like flooded, right? There is going to be uh, divine revelations. You're going to be receiving divine revelations, and there are things that you need to reflect upon. So there are certain things that you really need to think about, I guess. So there may be a part of it could also be strategy. There's something of strategy that still still needs to be thought upon before you can move forward. Maybe your plans need to be a little bit more detailed or something. There's something that still needs to be revealed to you. There's divine revelation. There are things that need to be reflected upon. And there also could be an emotionally letting go. There could be flow in your life as well, a flow of divine revelations. So that's what this relates to. And this also has to do with this new beginning being once this movement starts that it will be permanent, like a movement that is permanent, like something that is that makes a lot of sense, that's very rational, that has the right strategy, that has the right foundation. So it can be incredibly stable and it can be permanent, right? It's very, very important. And it can be prosperous as well, right? It can have life. And this has to do your um, with communication. So there is still wisdom that you need to gain, and it has to do with some kind of intellectual wisdom. So it could be study again, right? Maybe you need to study something. Maybe need to have divine revelations, go into higher learning. Maybe you literally need to learn something still. Um, Yeah, and something will be given life. There's a direction that will be given life. You'll be receiving communication upon this new direction, upon this. Uh, you will be given guided communication, right? So there is guidance available for you. There will be communication about this direction in life. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening. So you're going to be receiving communication upon that, and this could also be what is going to be happening, right? So there's going to be communication happening, and you're going to be receiving divine revelations. Things are going to be flooded in your life. So they're going to be going away, and you're going to be being guided into a new direction, quite likely, a new income stream. And yeah, so I'm wishing you a very, very beautiful day ahead, and bye bye.